Hi there, and thanks for chatting to Bleeder magazine today. Your set was fantastic today. This is the first ever ArcTanGent festival, and you've played well-established festivals such as Wacken, Hellfest and Bloodstock in the past. How does it feel to be playing such a new festival today?
In truth, it was alright. It wasn't really the right festival for our band, to be honest. A bit more kind of like artsy crowd, like not really a metal festival. So it was okay to come and play. Maybe play to a couple of new fans and stuff, but I don't think I'd do it again, in truth.
Well, the fans you had in the audience seem to be loving it, so you know it's quality, not quantity sometimes. You said that you're black metal inspired by the history, heritage and landscapes of England. How do you think the landscapes we have around us right now in Bristol would affect your music?
I don't know. Well, Bristol's lovely. We're in the Mendes, aren't we, of course, so lots of rich history around here. And well, the idea of Winterfylleth originally was that we kind of took stories and were inspired by interesting things from history. So I think people don't really have a very close connection to their history or their past or who they are or where they come from. And I think that a lot of people live in a kind of, I don't know, TV bubble probably, and working all day and don't really have a chance to think about certain things. So,
absolutely.
So what we tried to do originally was just kind of bring stories we thought were interesting to people and maybe challenge their perceptions about social situations or about politics or about the world or whatever, and hopefully do that for the better. So landscape kind of fits into that in the sense that, well, we're destroying it and we need to maybe, I don't know, think twice about that before it's too late.
Yeah, absolutely, we agree. So which landscape, history or heritage has had the greatest impact on you to date?
There's a lovely place near where we live called Castleton, which is in the Peak District. Probably, I don't know, it's probably like a spiritual centre for the band a little bit. I'm not like a kind of mad, like religious person or something, but you know what I mean? It's like a very kind of a very nice place that's very close to our hearts, I think. It's a lovely landscape, like the front cover of our first album was taken there. Lots of the artwork is in and around the Peak District and around there, and there's some great stories on there that inspired lots of songs in our first album particularly. So I don't know, probably somewhere around there. I think that's really inspirational. Lovely hills like Peveril Castle, which is on the front cover of the album. A story about Merlin, a story about Mamtor, the mountain, all that sort of stuff. That's all kind of on the record. So
That's great.
I guess there would be a main one. But there's lots, you know, lots and lots of places. Everywhere you go, you know, there's Lake District, Peak District, right near where we live. It's like over to kind of like Kildare, Driss, and like Snowdon and all that in North of Wales. It's all very close to kind of where we are. So
yeah, beautiful places. We should all take time to look at.
Absolutely. I would encourage people to go out and look at those kind of things and go spend some time up there, go camping or whatever, and
get back to nature.
Yeah, a little bit. I think because I think a lot of people aren't very connected to it, are they? And if you are, then you get some kind of like peace out of that, I think.
Absolutely. So your 2012 album, The Threnody of Triumph, has been critically acclaimed by the likes of Kerrang and Terrorise magazine. That's a lot of pressure for a follow-up. Have you got any ideas yet for the next album?
Yeah, we've written a few songs for it. I don't think like it's not really lots of pressure, to be honest. Like, you know, I think you can feel the pressure and you can worry about what magazines and people think, or you can just do what you've always done and be four friends that write music that matters to us. And if it, you know, if I write a riff that excites one of those guys, or they me, you know, then we make a song out of it and hope that everyone else buys into it. And if they do, then fantastic. The records are just written for us, really. There's no real pressure, I don't think. I think the only pressure we have, we put on ourselves, you know, to keep pushing it forward, to kind of incrementally keep changing what we do, and to make records that matter to us and that have great content in them, that's not just like yay beer or kind of, you know, Satan or something like that, and it's actually something that's socially and culturally relevant, maybe that hopefully provokes people into thinking a little bit differently, maybe acting a bit differently, maybe just reading something, maybe kind of thinking to themselves a little bit. And we've been criticised in the past for maybe being a little bit political, but there's no political context necessarily in what we do. But even if you don't agree with the politics of it, which there isn't really, you know, then if it challenges your own opinion or if it fulfills your own thoughts about what you believe, then it's not a bad thing. You know, it's always good to be challenged in everything that you do, I think. So I hope that's what we do.
Yeah.
I hope we achieve that.
That's great. So we looked up the definition of threnody. It means a lament. Why is your album called The Lament of Triumph?
Well, the threnody is actually a lament or a hymn or a poem or an ode to someone that you love that you've lost. And the concept of the album is about death and kind of rebirth, I suppose. So it's a little bit linked to, well, it's set in the context of kind of ancient poetry, but I suppose that the message underneath it is potentially social change. You know, we're kind of going through lots and lots of change at the minute. You see, well, just this week, like the war, you know, trying to warmonger against Syria and places like that, and it's all about kind of death and rebirth, really. And you know, we've got this kind of warmongering, power-hungry society of kind of Western governments that want to kind of, well, kick the shit out of the rest of the world, really, and kind of keep everything for themselves. And the whole process of that is really kind of about them killing everything off and then trying to rebuild it again. And that's not necessarily a positive thing, but the way that the record's structured is more about kind of coming to terms with that and making a positive change for everybody, really. So something we would hope to instill in everybody. I mean, the only thing you can really do as a person, if you care about social or political issues, is to make a change yourself. You know, you can influence other people maybe, but like the best way to impact change is just to kind of you make a conscious decision to do something differently. So I think that the context is set in that. You know, the lyrical content isn't about that. It's about ancient Saxon poetry and a kind of process through life and death. But there's always an undercurrent of change that runs through what we talk about. So that's the idea.
That's great. So in March and April this year, you toured with Enslaved for a European tour. How was that tour, and are there any further plans for tours later on this year?
The tour was amazing, incredibly inspiring. I mean, Enslaved are one of our favourite bands. You know, we've been in the very privileged position this last couple of years of working with some great people and kind of growing organically from where we started. I don't think we've ever really kind of been like an enormous band or something. We've not just kind of sprung out of nowhere. We've kind of come through our albums and kind of gradually got bigger at what we do. And we started working with some great people at the agency group, and we got to play with Enslaved, who are some of our heroes. You know, we went out for 3 weeks with them, played all around Europe. It was really fantastic for our band, raised our profile, but also great to meet some of our heroes and them not be dicks. You know, them be really great guys. Hugely kind of intelligent guys, very socially aware, really well read. Had some great conversations with them about all sorts of stuff, you know, right through from English politics and then through to silly stuff like they're really into stuff like Blackadder and Father Ted and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, we had a real lot in common, and they really love the British sense of humour as well, which is really great. So, you know, all in all, it was a hugely inspiring experience for us, and well, something that we just never thought we'd get to do.
Your treasure forever.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, absolutely.
So, are there any bands that you'd love to tour with in the future?
Yeah, I think so. We've been fortunate to play with Primordial, who are another one of our kind of heroes. I think we'd like to play with, I don't know, maybe some more of the kind of like classic black metal bands, maybe, you know, like Satyricon, or I don't know, like Dimmu or something like that. You know, there's loads of bands we love. But I mean, to be honest, bands of our style, Enslaved was the band we really wanted to play with. So we talked about maybe going out with them again to America or something like that. So I don't know. We'll see what pans out. Obviously, nothing's set in stone yet, but
that's wonderful.
We'll take what comes. You know, I mean, I'm hoping we can get to the point where we do a few of these things, and then maybe we can start bringing some bands along and kind of helping to raise the profile of some other guys that are where we were 5 years ago.
That sounds brilliant. That sounds like a fantastic idea, and I hope that goes well. Finally, final question of today is winter your favourite time of the year?
Yeah, I think so, absolutely. I hate summer. I hate really hot weather. And winter's such a beautiful time, and so much change goes on in winter, you know, snow and rain and all that sort of stuff. It's like, I find it much more kind of changeable and inspiring than like boring hot summer. You know, I'm not a big fan of hot weather anyway, but I think, you know, look at snowflakes, look at all that kind of stuff you see in the environment. The environment changes so much around winter, and it's a really kind of interesting time. So I'd say winter hands down.
Winter hands down. That's brilliant, Chris. Thanks so much for talking to Bleed Magazine today.
A pleasure.
And enjoy the rest of ArcTanGent Festival.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thanks.